Kings Hockey is brought to you by Kia. To learn more, visit mysocalkia.com. By Mercury Insurance. Save big on your auto insurance. Get a fast, free quote at mercuryinsurance.com today to see how much you can save.
Welcome back, Music City, USA, Nashville. They call it Smashville. We'll see what happens tonight. The Kings and the Predators. Matchup in goal. Interesting matchup because top goaltenders, no question. Dodge shows us, but the numbers for both Jonathan Quick and his counterpart tonight, not necessarily the numbers you expect to see from world-class goaltenders. Not necessarily a struggle for Quick individually, but the team a little bit. That last game especially, getting away into that track meet. Pekka Rinne, off-season hip surgery, back in goal right now. The big goaltender trying to get things back on track. Look at his save percentage. He's well under 90%. The officials tonight, Eric Ferlat, Grant Kimberly. They are the referees on the lines. Brian Mock and Johnny Murray. Tonight's Fox Sports West face-off is delivered by Chumash. Right now, play-by-play, Bob Miller.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Ready to go here in Nashville, Tennessee as the Kings wind up their road trip. Richards out to face off against a good face-off man, maybe certainly one of the best in the league, in Paul Gaustad. And Gaustad wins the draw, and they move it up to center ice to the King blue line, taken away there. Kings with it. Here's Carcillo. Carcillo across the line, shoots, and a save by Pekka Rinne, playing his 300th NHL game tonight.
And what to watch for tonight, Bob? The Kings have to cut down on the grade A opportunities. The transition game have to be better controlled there. Production from this center position. Pre-game show documented that. It's one thing you keep an eye on. Seth Jones, the rookie defenseman for the Nashville Predators, now paired with Shea Weber on the top pair. Didn't necessarily start the season that way, but Yossi went down, the defenseman, with an injury, concussion, so Seth Jones seeing more ice time.
And again, it's Gaustad facing off against Mike Richards of the Kings.
I watched Gaustad this morning, Bob, how low he gets. Look at that. He spreads the legs way down, grabs the stick slow, and as soon as I'm saying that, he loses the draw cleanly to Mike Richards.
Never fails, does it?
Exactly.
Puck thrown back in, but you're right. He is unbelievable on the faceoffs. 66.9% coming into the game tonight. He wins the faceoff.
And that's the reason they got him. They picked him up a couple years ago in a trade when they were going to the playoffs, and they certainly wanted that to be a big factor, a positive factor for them. You know, coaches don't have to worry when the puck gets into their zone. Daryl Sutter behind the bench, of course, for the LA Kings. Yesterday was a mandatory day off, according to the CBA, and Daryl was asked what he did on his day off, and he said, well, I worked from 10 till 4. We're not players, we're coaches. No CBA for those guys. So they were watching the video, going over things, and just trying to make sure. It was an anomaly the last game. It was uncharacteristic. The grade A opportunities. You give up about 5 a game, maybe. The Kings probably gave up 5 in the first.
Kings win the draw. Here is Doughty in the Nashville zone. He throws it in front, wide to the right side. Kopitar was in front along with Brown. Puck taken now by Nashville, but Brown takes it away in the corner. Dustin Brown, his pass back to Doughty at the right point. Doughty shoots from there, but it's knocked down. Doughty trying to get to it, and he did get to it after throwing a check, but the Predators pick it up and keep it in the King zone.
Mike Fisher had dropped his stick. He'd lost his stick. He was chasing after it. So even if he gets there, he's not going to have a stick to control the puck, and Doughty just had to make that contact without taking the penalty.
Brown gets knocked down at center. When I first saw it, I thought it was Doughty's stick. I thought, oh, no. Puck picked up by the Kings and start out of their own zone again. The game just underway here in Nashville. Puck driven down in deep. Nashville trying to get to it behind the net. And it's chased down there and picked up by Ryan Ellis, and he gets it up to the blue line, and now Nashville to center ice. They've won their last 2, but they run into each other there as the puck taken by the Kings now and across the line. Getting in the way was Gabriel Bourque, and his own teammate ran into him. Now the puck in the Nashville zone and chased down into the corner there by Matt Cullen, a veteran of 16 years. Kings take it away. Nice pass in front by Fratton and a save by Rinne.
The second game in a row, Fratton had the good pass to Voynov in the last game for the goal. That one between his own legs.
King gives it on the right wing side. A shot from there and a save by Rinne, and he hangs on to it. And we get a little shoving going on here after Nolan got the shot. But the Kings have come out shooting at Rinne.
And this is why the coaches, Bob, talk about turnovers, because these last shots by the Kings started because of a neutral zone turnover, maybe an offensive blue line turnover for the Nashville Predators. So the Kings were able to gain the zone themselves. If the Predators dump it in, play it safe, That doesn't happen. The Kings turn that turnover into a couple of shots.
Trevor Lewis out to take this faceoff for the Kings, but the faceoff is won by David Legwand of the Predators and cleared out to center ice. And it gets by Martinez, chased into the corner by Green. Green throws a check. Martinez comes back. They had a man, Forsberg, right in front of the net alone for a moment, but he went in deep to get the puck. Now Martinez checks Forsberg in the corner. No relation to the great Peter Forsberg. Puck is held in again by Nashville. King zone. Now behind the net, it comes into the right wing corner. Legwand had it on his stick behind the net. Now Forsberg. Here's Forsberg. He gets checked along the boards. Legwand over to try and get it. Now it's taken by Eric Nystrom, son of Bobby Nystrom, who had such a great career with the Islanders. Backhander by Forsberg and a save by Quick with traffic right in front of him. And he hangs on for the faceoff.
Philip Forsberg, Bob, we talked about him in the open. We had the intangible, the ability to just find the right time and right place to put pucks and allow teammates to jump onto it. And he certainly did that on the last shift. He was in a position where you're on the forecheck, and there was only a couple of times where he bounced the puck off the boards a couple of times, and it wasn't anything special, but you see him protecting right here. It's just one of those things to have the knack to know what's going on and when to do it, what not to do. Right after that, that's when he had a couple of passes. He used the boards twice in a row. Once directly to a player, once between his own legs, but that's just kind of an intangible. It's a read, it's a feel. Where is the support coming from?
He was a number one pick by the Washington Capitals in 2012, but they traded him here in exchange for Martin Erat, who had a great career here in Nashville. Puck along the right wing boards in the King zone, and Carter digs it out. Quickly it comes over to Daniel Carcillo. Carcillo sends it around, left wing side, trying to get around Kevin Klein. Carcillo in deep. Klein takes him into the boards, and the puck is taken by the Predators. Bob Miller along with Jim Fox here in the first period. Shot from outside the blue line, and a save as Klein put it on net, and the save made by Jonathan Quick. Down the corner, Kings can't hang on. Fisher took it away for Nashville, but Pope checked away from him, and the Kings back up to center ice. Sent down in deep on target.
Whoa.
Rene couldn't find it. Pekka Rinne couldn't find the puck after he made the save on the shot by Carter.
A little bit of out of sorts right there by Rennie. This morning at the morning skate, Bob, just as the practice was over, Barry Trotz went down. He was on the ice, of course, but he went right up to Pekka Rinne. Eye to eye, face to face. Now, Rennie was on his knees at the time, and he was staring at him. He was just talking to him. And it wasn't like he was berating him, or it was just kind of an intense type of thing in a morning skate. And again, the numbers for Rennie haven't been what you would expect from the goaltender, especially in this system, usually around defense. So maybe the coach is going that extra mile, trying to get it going from the goaltender.
Yeah, his goals against 3.11 and his save percentage under 900 right as of tonight. Puck comes around the boards in the Nashville zone, and pitching in is Willie Mitchell. Mitchell gets it down into the corner. Kings swarm down in there to pick it up. Now behind the net, Justin Williams. Williams gets checked, drops it off to Kopitar. Here's Kopitar, still with it, gives it to Williams. Justin Williams back to the blue line. Taken there. Voynov with a drive, and it's deflected, and back up to center ice comes Craig Smith, and getting back was Voynov to break it up. Nashville again in the Kings zone, though, and a shot deflected wide. That shot by Matt Cullen, and the Kings back in to take control.
Solid cycle by the Kings on that last offensive chance. Couldn't get men to the front at the time of the shot. Kopitar was trying to get there, but good possession. Always putting the puck, three guys working together, then use the D.
Now the blue line of the Kings, the Predators can't bring it in. They got to get back on side. Legwand finally does, and they drive it into the Kings zone. Here's Green with a check on Legwand. Puck is loose behind the net, and a hand pass is going to be called here, and that stops play.
It certainly slows it down for the Predators. Kings fans save during October with ticket specials all month long. No fees through the end of the month. Additional savings for students and members of our military. Also, purchase select games, receive pre-sale access to the NHL Stadium Series game, Dodger Stadium. That'll be January 25th. Visit lakings.com/promotions for all of the details.
After tonight, the Kings are home for 8 of the next 9 games. The only trip in there goes to Phoenix.
Oh, a long one.
Right. And the Kings will be home Saturday night against the Dallas Stars at Staples Center. We'll have it for you, of course, 7 o'clock, Kings Live. 7:30, the play-by-play. Puck is out at center ice, and some bodies flying there, and now it comes into the Kings zone where Drew Doughty goes back to pick it up.
Well, it's certainly a story, Bob. Anytime the Kings allow 5 goals against in a game, at the same time, if you can play a solid game here tonight and win this one, that's 3-1 on a road trip, a 4-game trip. That would be a real good trip.
Dwight King moves it ahead and across the line. Chased down in by Fratton. Fratton, King, and Stoll up front for the Kings. At the right point, it's Doughty. Doughty shoots, blocked in front, picked up now, and a shot by Regehr is deflected wide. Still in the Nashville zone. Back to Regehr at the left point. He just does hold it on the line. Throws it around the boards. Picked up there along the right wing side and sent behind the net as the Predators take over. As Hendricks got to it. Now puck came up the middle, but Fratton had his stick knocked out of his hand. And then a penalty coming up here against the Nashville Predators. Tripping is the call.
Little sloppy there by the Predators. Martinez, Bob, when he swooped in, he could have went for the hit. He didn't. He went for the puck, made the right decision because it made an offensive chance. Then the Kings kept the puck alive and drew that tripping call. I think the one thing that's very apparent to start this game, you see right there, Fratton without the puck, without his stick. And there's the trip. Carcillo comes in. The Kings are playing it a little bit tighter as far as support. 5 men connected very well so far. I know we're just past the 5-minute mark, but good start when you take a look at all the guys working together. No gaps developing yet, and the Predators can't get any room to skate.
Kings are 5 out of 25 this year on the power play, but on this road trip, 0 for 9 the last 9 attempts. A shot just deflected wide, picked up by the Kings again, and then taken away by Nashville, but held in for a moment. Was intercepted there by Eric Nystrom. Now back behind the King net. Quick cuts it off. And the Kings start back out again on the power play. First power play of the night. Into the zone. Here's Voynov. Poke checked away from him, and it's clear.
This morning at the morning skate, Bob, one thing the Kings worked on, and you work on it just about every single practice, but it was defensemen trying to change angles, get shots through. That really applies to a power play situation. I know Drew Doughty will be thinking about that. Actually, the Predators were doing the same thing at the morning skate, where their defensemen were trying to fake a shot, take one step to either side to open up lanes. So nowadays in the NHL, again, especially in this situation for the Kings, power play, the penalty killers, man, they get no shooting lanes and block a lot of shots.
There have been times early this year that the Kings have been unable to get the power play set up the way they want in the opponent's zone. And so far now they have not been able to do that. There's a pass ahead and a backhander knocked away. The backhand by Gabriel Bourque was intercepted. Now the Kings start back. Let's see if they get it set up. They've got 1:08 left to go in the power play. Puck comes around the board. Into the corner goes Richards. Now back to the blue line. Picked up there by Doughty. Doughty walks the line. Still has it. Gives it over to Carter. Carter shoots on a save and a rebound. Carter again. He tips it on the left side. And the Kings have it as Kopitar to Carter. To Kopitar in the slot. He shoots wide. Rebound off the boards taken by Carter. Carter sends a backhander in deep. Broken up there and cleared the length of the ice by Ryan Ellis of Nashville.
Kings finally did get their shots right there with Carter, their trigger man, pulling it and just making the big goaltender move across to make the save. The timing of power plays is important too. The Kings early in games, lately struggling on power plays. At the end of the game, you look at the overall number, but that timing is important too. Early, a chance to get that lead.
Kings try to send it back in. They do, but it's taken away. Nashville with it into the Kings zone. Williams getting back, tried to poke it away from Nystrom. Nystrom up the middle, then a shot deflected wide. And now only 10 seconds left in the Kings power play. Puck comes up to center ice and driven right back into the zone. And the power play is over, and the Kings fail to score. They've had 7 shots in the game to 2 for Nashville. Gaustad had it at center ice. He dropped it back to Victor Stahlberg. Stahlberg was with the Chicago Blackhawks last year. Puck taken now by Justin Williams. He's double-teamed in the Kings zone. Puck comes loose, taken by Philip Forsberg. Forsberg, his shot knocked off the body of Quick and wide of the net. Now behind the net, check thrown there by Green, and the Kings try to move it to the blue line, and they do, and out to center ice. Forsberg back to get it. Nashville back across the line. Fisher, left wing side, throws it in front to Forsberg. He couldn't get a good shot. He's forced into the corner. Forsberg protects the puck. Drops it off there. Back to the blue line. Taken and driven wide off the boards by Matthias Ekholm. Now Philip Forsberg again with it. The 19-year-old moves it up ahead, but Jordan Nolan takes it away for the Kings. And the Kings have some time to get it back out across the blue line.
Only a couple shifts, but that Forsberg, good-looking player. Good,
yeah,
19 years old, protects the puck very well, buys himself just that extra split second, then he can make a play.
11-13 left to go here in the first period with no score in the game. Puck comes back down into the King zone, and Doughty chasing it down. He has it. He rips it into the corner. Taken away there in front at point blank. A save made by Quick. Puck came right in front of Quick, and he made the stop, and the puck came back to the blue line and driven back in again. But big save by Jonathan Quick there.
Fundamentally sound by Jonathan Quick. Paddle down flat, take away the opportunity of the offensive player to make a move. And the Predator ran out of room right there on that last play because Quick forced the play. Stick on puck to break it up. No score. Kings and Preds.
Hey, welcome back to Nashville. I'm Patrick O'Neill. No score, Kings and the Predators. Well, the MO for the Kings, as you know, they're a hard, physical, tough team to play against. That's what every opposing coach tells us. Right now, if you look at the stats, the Kings are second in the league in hits per game, almost 30. Predators second fewest, just under 17. Assistant coach John Stevens told me those numbers aren't always accurate. Buildings vary depending on how they call it. They use the eye test, coaches do. Hits and control of the puck, good. Chasing and hitting, bad. Let's go back to Bob and Jim.
Yeah, those numbers sometimes, Patrick, if you're getting all your hits in your own zone, it's not necessarily a good thing because the opposition's controlling the play. What I try to look for, solid contacts in the offensive zone. Of course, say for a defenseman, take your man, play the man, not the puck. But in the offensive zone, that's where you create some turnovers.
Now the Predators in the King zone. A pass deflected out to the right side and taken by Kevin Klein. Klein threw it down in deep to Fisher. Now in front, broken up there. Fisher with it again along the right wing board. He drops it back there and is picked up by Colin Wilson. Wilson fighting to get control of it, but his pass comes out to center and back into the Nashville zone.
Hornquist, Bobby, just right. He drove to the net there with Carter. Ended up with his stick right in the skate blade of Jeff Carter for about 5 seconds. Both guys couldn't move because the stick was in the blade.
Now all the way back in the King zone behind the net. Jonathan Quick cuts it off. Fires it around the boards, but it's taken to the right point by Weber. Shea Weber, and he's got a rocket, but a save made by Quick.
And that last shift we were talking about, Dustin Brown this morning was asked what to watch for against the Predators. He said the shot of Shea Weber we just saw right there, and he also said Hornquist around the net. He tried to get to the net that last shift, and Jeff Carter did a real good job on him. And then Carter ended up down with Hornquist's stick right through his skate blade where the hole is, and he couldn't move for about 5 seconds.
Face off in the King zone. Nashville beat Florida here a couple nights ago 4-3. They beat the Islanders 3-2, and they lost to Toronto 4-0. And then before that beat Minnesota 3-2. They're going to go on a 3-game road trip at the end of this game. They go to Montreal and then Winnipeg and Minnesota. Puck is in the corner. Craig Smith, the Predators. He gives it over. Now pass up the middle, and Nystrom, his shot deflected wide. Picked up by Nashville again. Right side, passing front, tip, and a save by Quick. And he sprawls, and a score on the rebound. Quick couldn't cover it up. And the Predators lead 1-0.
But we were talking about numbers. That goal against means nothing against Jonathan Quick. He makes a spectacular save, and he's all around. It's the Kings unable to hold on to the puck. Right there's the first one. Then the second one. You see right there, Mitchell tries to shovel it underneath the goaltender, doesn't do it. Mitchell tried to get the puck and put it underneath his own goaltender, which at times can be a good play. There's that first save. Watch here. Tries to get under the goaltender. It's kept alive by 15. That's Craig Smith, the beneficiary on the side. Just turns, pulls right to the top, and the Predators take a 1-0 lead on about the third or fourth chance.
Yeah, not much Quick could do on that. He's got to get more help from the blue line. A shot wide to the left side. That shot by Ryan Ellis. Kings come back. Nolan's pass to center ice, broken up, and the Predators have it again. Back across the King line, down into the corner. Chased down in there by Gaustad, tipped away from him. Now chased by the Kings' Robin Regehr, and he gets into the blue line and up to center ice. Flipped across the line, but offside going to be called here against the Kings. Clifford was in too soon. So Cullen gets the goal, and it's 1-0 in favor of Nashville.
Time, get guys skating onto the puck. The Kings weren't really running around, and you'll see the Kings end up used to the back of the net. Now here comes the huge save. Look at the Kings. They have the men back, but then the Predators jumping to the spots. But look at this. 1, 2, 3 Kings in front. There's Mitchell. He's trying to get it underneath the goaltender. It doesn't work. Smith doesn't give up. He keeps it alive. And Cullen, one of the veteran players signed as a free agent by the Predators, he benefits on the play. So the initial cycle just slowly but surely allowed the Predators to jump to the spot. When you talk about being outnumbered, that was not the case. But we saw that first save, Bob. That's a grade A, huge save by Jonathan Quick. After that, didn't get much help.
Kings take it away in the Nashville zone, but tipped down into the corner. Cullen gets his first of the season, assisted by Craig Smith, who has points in 3 straight, and Gabriel Bourque. Shot from the right point is scooped up by Pekka Rinne, and he hangs on. The time of that goal, 10:33, and the Kings find themselves down 1-0 here in the first period.
So you got to fight back. You got to get back to what you were doing earlier, and hopefully it won't come back to haunt the Kings. We talked about it earlier, Bob, with the early power plays the Kings have been getting in games. You know, every once in a while, you're going to score hopefully 22% on power plays. Every once in a while, you get one early in the game to kind of set the tone. So the Predators went to their forecheck, and they made it happen.
Face-off won by Kopitar for the Kings, Nashville zone. Kopitar down into the right wing corner. Kopitar hangs on, reverses and goes into the corner again. He gets checked there. Puck comes over to Williams. Here's Justin Williams. Williams still with it. Williams hanging on, gives it to Kopitar. Kopitar back over to Martinez. Martinez overskated, but he comes back to get it and drives it in behind the net to Brown. Dustin Brown checked there. Loose puck. Predators go for it. Brown knocks it down. Brown to Kopitar with a shot and a save by Rinne, and he covers up.
Well, the Kings are buzzing here, trying to get it going. The only thing missing so far is just that front net presence, which against a goaltender like Rinne, who's so big and controls so much room, you can't always get it because you got to get the puck first. You see Kopitar like it there. He shoots. In the open, I was talking about that. So shoot. Pre-game, shoot. Make it happen. Now, of course, there was no screen on the play, but that's what they want to see more. Look for second and third opportunities after that first shot. If you can, if you get a chance, bodies to the front.
Now the face-off, Stoll on the draw, but the Predators have it, and they get it out to center ice. Taken on the right wing side by Forsberg. Philip Forsberg throws it in behind the net. It's taken away by Slava Voinov. To the blue line and out to center ice. 7:40 left to go in the first period here in Nashville. And the Predators with a 1-0 lead. Tipped across the King line, chased in the left side by Forsberg. He gets stopped there. Legwand picks it up the middle. Shot, save, rebound right up the middle. And Nashville has it again. Back to the blue line. Ellis turns, gives it to Legwand. Legwand pass up the middle, a shot tipped wide to the right side. They had Forsberg right in the middle. Now Legwand goes to get it. Legwand with it again. Predators throw it in front. Quick knocks it down and covers it up. And a face-off coming up. The Predators are doing a great job of swarming around the King net.
And they've got 3 forwards that are interchanging positions, and when that happens, you know, you keep it on the outside, but now they're penetrating on the goal. They pick the right time to jump down, drive to the net at the right time, and that's one thing. The timing has been real good. The 5-man unit working together for the Predators here in the first period. You can cycle on the outside all you want. Teams will let you do that, but sooner or later you got to take it to the net. The Predators doing that.
Now the draw taken by the Kings out of their own zone. Here's Richards. Richards up the right side. Richards with Carcillo. Puck comes into the corner. Carcillo chases it down. And the Predators get to it, though, and are going to have a chance to clear, but they can't. Carter with a shot from the right side. Taken away there and picked up by Matthias Ekholm, but he gives it away along the boards. Carter battles in the Nashville zone. Carter, his shot up high and off the glass. Kings try to hold it in, but Regehr can't. Now Carter over to try and take it away. Stahlberg threw it in deep, and now Nashville back to center ice. Pass on the right wing side. Pushed in by Stahlberg. He put it behind the net to Gaustad. Gaustad, King zone. He stops it there and drops it back, and it's picked up by Hendricks. Now it rolls right toward the crease, and then Hendricks gets knocked down. Here's Paul Gaustad with it. Out to the blue line. Held in there. Now Weber, right point. His shot up high and gloved by Quick.
Well, another forecheck shift for the Nashville Predators. Talking with Barry Trotz this morning, Bob, at the morning skate. You were there. He was talking about, you know, the addition of some veteran players, not stars, but veterans that he can trust. He said that in the past, maybe he had guys that he really had to spot on the ice. You know, you're not comfortable with a certain player in a certain position, end of a period. You had guys like Cullen, you have in Gaustad a couple of years ago. Hendricks comes aboard, Stahlberg comes aboard. veteran guys have been around, a lot more confidence to put players on the ice in different situations.
Face off in the King zone. Here's Seth Jones to Weber. His shot knocked down by Quick, and a rebound was right there with an open corner of the net, but the Kings got to it. Cleared up ahead by Willie Mitchell. Now on the left side, here's Kopitar. Kopitar driving. Kopitar turns in front, shoots. Up over the net and off the glass and back to center ice. Nashville with it. Down the right wing side. Hornquist with a long shot and a save by Quick.
I know Kopitar didn't score there, Bob, but when he went around the net, out the other side, he was looking for his shot. So he's looking a little bit more right there, making sure getting the puck to the net. Missed wide, but still looking for the shot.
Here's Kopitar again. Got it from Williams. Kopitar, Nashville zone, in front, and a loose puck. Who's got it? King takes a swipe at it. Came loose to the left side. The net was open with the goaltender down, but the Kings just couldn't get there in time. Kopitar, left side. Kopitar tried to give it to Williams, taken away by Nashville. They lead it 1-0 with 5:20 left to go in the first period. Kings back in their own zone to get it. Here's Alec Martinez. Up ahead to center ice. Flipped high in the air and down in deep, and a battle there as Fratton comes in, and interference called here. Victor Bartley going to go for interference, and the Kings are going to get another chance on the power play.
Yeah, the dump-in was placed in a position where Lewis, Fratton were able to use speed. Interference to call. Kings chance to tie it up. Well, there's David Poyle. He has the violet tie on, I'll call it right now. GM of the American U.S. Olympic team. American U.S., isn't that redundant? Yes. Olympic team coming up. I asked him this morning about the selections. You know, Seth Jones, player he has on his own team, only 19 years old. Arlington, Texas. His father's Popeye Jones, former NBA player. And, you know, he said, maybe not yet. Maybe not yet. The skill's there. You can see it's going to come. Maybe not yet for this year's Olympics. Remember last game it was Steve Yzerman with the Lightning GM. He's going to GM the Canadian team. David Poyle tonight, the U.S. team.
Off the draw here, the Kings on the power play trying to tie it up. They battle for it along the boards in the Nashville zone, and the puck comes to the top of the slot, but now it comes out to center ice where Doughty has to go back and get it. Kings are 0 for 10 on the power play on this trip, and they're 0 for 1 so far here tonight. Chance late in the first period to tie the game. Kings bring it up to center ice. Here's Kopitar across the line. Kopitar gets stopped. Loose puck picked up there, and the Kings keep it alive. Voynov back to the blue line to Doughty. Doughty moves it right side. Kopitar in front, just tipped wide as Carter headed for the net. Now it comes back to the blue line to Doughty. Over to Jeff Carter. Carter shoots on a save and a rebound. Carter with it again. Carter sends it in front. Now back up the right side. Voynov shot. Save off the blocker by the goaltender Rene, and it gets by Doughty out to center ice. Doughty back to get it. Kings with 1 minute left to go in this power play. They've had a couple of chances here, but haven't been able to get it past Rene. 4 minutes to go in the first period.
Better, certainly, as far as the point of attack, where it's coming from, making sure there's a little traffic, but the entries have been the issue so far. That's part of it. That's a big part, if not the biggest part, of any power play. And that's one area, again, where every team practices all the time, how you get it into the offensive zone.
Well, Nashville not very good on the penalty kill, although they look pretty good now. They're tied for 27th in the league here early in the season. Martinez holds it in. He gets it off on the right side. Kings still on the power play for another 25 seconds. In the Nashville zone, back to Alec Martinez. He shoots and knocked down by Rene, and Brown gets wiped out by Shea Weber.
Well, there's an Olympic matchup. Weber will be Canadian team, Brown will be U.S. team, and he was trying to get that front net presence. When the power play was clicking early in the air, that's what was happening. Was Richards in front, or was Brown in front, or was Carter in front? Earlier, there's Mike Richards taking the body. Smart decision right there. Forget about the puck, get the body to create the loose puck. Then later on, there's Weber finishing it off against Dustin Brown. So it's going to be a battle. Everyone knows the opposition wants to get to the front against Rene because he's so big. Well, the defenders, they want to box out.
Kopitar on the draw. 19 seconds ago in the King power play. Martinez holds it in at the left point. Martinez to Brown. Brown sends it down toward the corner. Kings still move it back to the blue line to Martinez. He got it from Williams. Over the right side. Shot from there is off the boards wide and back to center ice. Stoll with a shot, and Nashville has killed another penalty. Now the puck down and deep, and the Kings 0 for 11 with a man advantage on this road trip, and still trail 1-0. Up to center ice. Martinez drives it down in deep. Puck comes around the boards in the Nashville zone and cleared out to center ice. but taken over by Willie Mitchell of the Kings. Patrick O'Neill will talk with the King at the end of this period. Pass off on the right wing side into the zone. Broken up there and cleared back out to center ice by Ekholm. Kings have it. Martinez sent across the line by Willie Mitchell. Nashville jumps out of there, but it comes in the middle and a shot deflected up high. Right in the middle, a shot by Daniel Carcillo.
Ekholm with a good stick right there to make sure Carcillo doesn't get the shot on goal. Ekholm looks pretty good too in this game. He had an earlier read against Mike Richards where he decided to be very aggressive and stand up and make the play. He's 23 years old, of course, from Sweden. You can probably tell that from his last name. And it just seems like a big turnover here for the Nashville Predators. They're not the type of team or market that attracts a lot of star free agents. So they've got to restock with trades, free agent signings of guys that are kind of veteran, and through the draft.
Now the draw won by the Predators and cleared out to center ice. Kings back to get it. Regehr to Doughty, now on the left side, taken by Dwight King. King tips it into the zone. King goes in deep in the corner with Ryan Ellis. They battle for there, but it's taken now by Nashville. Forsberg tried to come up, couldn't get around Regehr. Predators chase it down deep into their own zone. Bartley dropped it off, and now Ellis goes for it. Nashville still with it. They make the safe play off the boards to the King blue line. Broken up there right in front of the King bench. And across the line, taken by the Kings in their own zone as it's cleared back out to center ice by Trevor Lewis. But he loses it there. Here's Forsberg with a chance, and his shot deflected wide. Forsberg again gets the rebound, throws it in front. It's still loose. Kings can't get to it. Nashville back to the blue line. And a shot from there deflected by Fratton. Still on the stick of the Predators. A shot and a save by Quick. Picked up by Legwand. Legwand with it. Predators on the puck. Kings can't get it in their own zone. Legwand all the way to the blue line, and he had it for a moment, and then his pass deflected, and finally the Kings get it and bring it out to center ice.
And the Kings, because they spend so much time in their own zone, as soon as they get it, they make the right decision. Let's get it into the other team's zone and make a change. But this is how a team builds up momentum. Spend some offensive zone time, and the other team always seems to be tired.
Less than a minute to go here in the first period. Mike Richards will be Patrick's guest at the end of this period. Kings bring it across the line, now in deep, and poke checked away there as it was tipped against the boards. Now Richards for the Kings. His pass right side, shot from there, score by Voinov. Slava Voinov ties the game with 41.1 seconds to go in the first.
Well, certainly, Bob, the selection of Mike Richards by Patrick O'Neill, if he indeed picked him, is a good selection because I think he's been one of the better Kings tonight. Carter gets the speed to gain entry. Of course, he can back people off. And there's Kyle Clifford keeping alive. But watch here. Mike Richards gets it. He fakes the shot. He gives the look that he's going to shoot the puck. Watch, see right there, one step forward, and then he goes lateral. And that froze everyone. Now, Reddy's such a big guy, but Voinov makes no mistake because he takes his time and leans into it. He did that in the last game in Tampa when he scored a goal, similar situation with a cross-lateral pass. So the Kings get one here, last minute, big goal.
30 seconds left to go in the first period now. Predators 3-on-2 into the King zone. Predators pass ahead just out of reach of Cullen. Now behind the net. It comes right up the middle and a shot knocked down in front. Loose puck. Kings get to it. That was a shot by Bork right in the slot. Now here's Kopitar. 12 seconds to go in the period. He drops it off, intercepted there and cleared back to center, and Doughty with it. And Doughty back in the King zone. That's just about going to do it. Voinov gets his second of the year. Richards gets one assist. It came with 41.1 seconds to go in the first period. And that is the end of period number one. So the Kings stayed with it. And Voinov gets his second goal of the season. 19:18, the time of that goal. So the Kings leave with a 1-1 tie here at the end of one. And Mike Richards, who assisted on that goal, he'll be talking with Patrick O'Neill after this.
Welcome back inside Bridgestone Arena. Here 1-1 after one period of play. Daryl Sutter looking on. Interesting kind of mutual respect this morning after the morning skate between the coaches, Barry Trotz asked about Daryl Sutter's teams, and he says the thing that always comes up, very rarely does a Daryl Sutter coach team take a night off. They always seem to be prepared to come physical and with a work ethic. And then Daryl Sutter was asked, how do you like coaching against Barry Trotz? He said, I don't like it. And he did it because he said Barry Trotz is one of the 7 or 8 guys around the league that has so much experience, knows his way around the bench, knows his personnel, knows what's going on. So interesting mutual respect between Trotz and Sutter.
Well, for Barry Trotz, tonight is 1,121st game coach with the Predators, the longest tenure of anybody in the league right now. And the second period underway. On that King goal, Voynov from Richards, and they announced Clifford, but it will be changed, I'm sure, to Jeff Carter, who got the puck to Richards and then to Voynov. Second period underway, and the Kings in the Nashville zone. Puck comes around the boards, and it is not cleared yet. Now into the corner. Richards tried to get there, but Nashville Predators jump on it. Kings can't hold it in. It comes up to center ice to Colin Wilson. His pass taken away. Here's Carter. Carter to the blue line. Carter's pass deflected down into the corner, chased in there and put behind the net to Carter again. Carcillo gave it to Carter. To the blue line to Kopitar. Kopitar threw it into the corner. Carcillo tried to get his stick on it. He did for a moment. Now it's picked up by Williams. Back to the blue line. Kings in the Nashville zone. Puck taken down the corner again, but Nashville gets control of it and cleared up ahead to center ice. Down across the line, left side. Hornquist with a shot and a glove save by Quick.
Well, once again here, first shift, the Predators have a neutral zone turnover, which is uncharacteristic of their team. There's Hornquist. And this guy just goes to the front of the net. He battles. He never stops. He has an A as an assistant captain this year, and he says he works very well with the young players, which I'm sure goes into the thought process of who you're going to choose as your captain. So a pest. He's a pest, but he's got some hands. When he gets it, he puts it home.
He missed some games last year. He played only 24, had 4 goals, but he led the team in power play goals last year.
That tells you he knows his way to the front of the net.
Puck taken by Nashville at the blue line, then up the middle, and a shot just wide. Right in the slot was Bork. He likes to go there, and he's had a couple opportunities from that area tonight.
Set play off an offensive zone faceoff. What normally happens, one of the forwards drops off. That was Bork. He dropped off. Good position to shoot.
Doughty back in to get it for the Kings, but the Predators swarm into the corner, trying to take it away. Here's Kopitar with a check. Centering pass, knocked down, and Kopitar has it for the Kings. It was Craig Smith trying to get to it. He was born in Madison, Wisconsin. And the puck up to the blue line, and not out yet. It bounces up in the air, and Kopitar has to come into the King zone to pick it up. He gets it around to Regehr. Regehr gets it up ahead to center ice. Here's Brown. Brown across the line. His pass over to Justin Williams broken up, and the Predators have control of it back in their own zone. Now to the blue line and up to center ice. Tipped away there from Seth Jones. They've got Jones playing over on left defense, and he said it's a little weird for him because pucks come around the boards and he's on his backhand, not facing the play.
And Bob, it can have a difference too defending because, you get used to leading with one shoulder that's closest to the boards. All of a sudden you're on the other side and that shoulder's it's the reverse situation. So a few tricky things, but again, they just want him to play with Weber as much as possible. Learn, be a sponge. That's what his coach said about him. Learn, watch one of the better defensemen, and you can learn just from watching.
Face off in the Predators zone. Game tied at 1 here in the second period. Kings get the draw. Puck fired back behind the net, and Pekka Rinne cut it off, but taken away by Stoll, and then almost off of Rinne toward the front of the net. Kings hold it in again. Throw it in front, but it's broken up and taken by Nashville, and Nystrom up to center ice. He sends it across the King line. Here's Jarrett Stoll. Stoll to Dwight King. King, Stoll, and Fratton up front for the Kings. Puck is chased down and picked up by the Predators, and they headman it up toward the blue line, and here's David Legwand. He leads them all time in all offensive categories, but they want to get a line change here. Kings come in deep to get it over to Brown. Brown got it from Martinez. Now to Stoll. Stoll on the right wing. Throws it down into the corner. Going for it there, Dwight King. He gets checked. In comes Fratton. Fratton trying to dig it out. So is King. But the puck is loose, and Gaustad has it for Nashville. We're 3 minutes into the second period with a game tied at 1. Puck taken there and driven around the boards, and it is into the right wing corner. Gaustad went in to try and pick it up. He couldn't. Then a shot by Smith knocked down, and the Kings come back out to center ice. And a pass deflected back and picked up now by the Kings again. Here's Jordan Nolan. Nolan on the left wing. Nolan walking in deep. Tried to throw it in front. Rene poked it away. And it comes over on the right side to Victor Stahlberg, but he can't clear. Shot wide. Rebound right side. Kings go for it again. Shot was by Willie Mitchell from the left point. Now Mitchell goes to the bench. Kings keep the pressure on. Right wing corner. Still a battle there for it. As Clifford trying to dig it out. Clifford has it on his stick. Clifford's pass back on the left side. Played by Regehr. Regehr shoots. Knocked down in front. Predators have it. Back they come to center ice. Here's Matt Hendricks. Hendricks throws it off on the right side to Stahlberg. His shot deflected into the corner. In the King zone. Still a battle for it. And Drew Doughty has it behind the net. Fans upset. They thought a penalty should have been called. Here's Hornquist at the right point.
Regehr had his stick bob into the midsection of Hendricks, and maybe he's going to go off here.
Now a shot and a save by Quick and a rebound. A penalty coming up and another save by Quick.
Now that puck was bouncing around. Save, back out, save. Yeah, earlier, Bob, Regehr had his stick into the midsection of Hendricks, but Hendricks was also grabbing onto the stick. And maybe the ref said, okay, it's going each way. But then later on, Robin Regehr is going to go to the box. It's been a kind of a chess match second period so far. Each team getting some time in the offensive zone. And it is the veteran defenseman, Robin Regehr, that goes to the box. It was interesting, Bob, on the change, just leading up to this penalty, we were just talking about defensemen playing different sides. Because of how it happened, Regehr ended up on the right side, Doughty ended up on the left side just because of how they had the change on the play. And from that point on, maybe they couldn't sort it out like they normally would have. Holdings the official call later on. Predators' first chance, man advantage.
And the faceoff will be in the King zone. Game tied 1-1. Legwand ready to take the draw for the Predators against Stoll, and he wins the draw. Back to the blue line to Weber. He gets it left side now. Back to Weber. Weber doesn't take the shot. Right side. Shot from there and a save and a rebound. Hopped over the stick of Forsberg. Forsberg looking for it on the left wing, and fortunately for the Kings, it hopped over his stick.
Pretty obvious what they're trying to do, get Weber the shot. Of course, Seth Jones' first NHL goal was a one-time on a pass from Shea Weber, so you have two right-handers can really bring it.
Thrown behind the King net. Quick has a little trouble handling it there, but he gets it around to King, and Dwight King clears it into the Nashville zone. I want to say hello to 30-year Kings season ticket holder, Kings fan Sherwin Tarski. Has a little problem health-wise, and we hope he's feeling better. His son's here tonight. Puck comes down in deep and in the corner. King, can they clear? It bounces right back in deep. Then a broken stick, but the Kings get to it. The broken stick by Doughty, but Carter got the puck, and he gives it to Richards. Richards into the Nashville zone. Richards still with it. Dropped it off in the corner, and it's taken there by Forsberg. 51 seconds to go in the King penalty. Puck driven deep in the King zone. Willie Mitchell hustling over to get it. He drives it around the boards, but not out. Held into the right point. Driven down in deep and then steered away into the corner. From the right point, it was thrown in front by Matt Cullen. Now it comes back to the left point. Now over to the right side and a shot again. Knocked down, rebound. Nashville moving it around. They got Smith right in the slot. Still hold it in the King zone. Down in deep into the corner to Fisher. Fisher dropped it off there. Taken by Colin Wilson. Wilson back to Weber. Weber back on the right side again. Taken there and now back over to Weber. Is he near the shot? He does shoot. It's wide to the right side. Nashville still with it. 10 seconds to go in the power play. And the Kings take it away and it's cleared. Back down into the Nashville zone as Richards stayed with it.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And that time Richards got his stick in the right position. He knew they were trying to get the puck to Weber.
Kings are back at full strength, so they kill the penalty. Game is still tied 1-1. Fratton with a check there as he throws a check at Matt Hendricks. Nashville still with it in the King zone, though. Thrown in front, and Quick over to knock this down. He's still down on his knees. Nashville still with it. To the blue line, and it gets by Victor Bartley all the way back into the Nashville zone.
You get so used to seeing it. It's almost like automatic. Anything crossed, no one in the world gets across the crease as explosively as Jonathan Quick.
Kings chase it down in their own zone. Comes up the right side now to Jordan Nolan. Nolan feeds it over on the left into the zone. Down the middle goes Trevor Lewis. A shot is gloved by Rene. Tipped up out of play and a face-off coming up.
Now the Kings holding on to a 1-1 tie. Holding on because the Predators have the chance. One side to the other is Jonathan Quick. stretching out, keeps it a 1-1 tie. Certainly the biggest saves have been made by this man right here, Jonathan Quick. He made a huge save in the first, ended up in behind him a couple whacks later than that last one. We've mentioned it before. I think it bears mentioning just the makeup and the structure of Jonathan Quick. I mean, he has legs like a fullback. He is so strong. And when he gets a chance to anchor one of those legs, he anticipates at the same time. I think he can wait on the shooter longer than most because he has so much confidence that he's going to get across the net in a lateral situation. Powerful legs, push across.
And a face-off in the Nashville zone now, and the puck cleared back into the Kings zone. In this second period, the Kings do not have a shot on goal yet. They were killing a penalty, but they've been outshot 6-0 here in this second period.
There's Voynov. I mentioned him in the intermission. Early on, Bob, I thought his game was out of sync, and maybe it's coming around, playing himself into condition. Out of sync on reads. And the last 2 goals he scored came on perfect time, jump into the play at the right time. The read has improved because of the fitness.
Justin Williams with it. His shot steered wide to the right. Williams with 500 points in his NHL career. And now it's chased down by Willie Mitchell into the Kings zone. 12.5 minutes to go in the second period. Bob Miller along with Jim Fox. Glad all of you are with us, and we'll be home to see you on Saturday night. Dallas Stars at Staples Center. Puck comes around the left side, and Colin Wilson gets it up ahead to center. Now the loose puck chased down as Brown got hit and had his helmet knocked off. Now taken by Wilson again. He gets it on the right wing. Colin Wilson turns his pass. A shot and a glove save by Quick. A nice pass there by Wilson to Hornquist. And he snapped a shot, and a great glove save by Quick.
When you play against the Kings and Jonathan Quick, if you're the opposition, you have to expect this. You have to expect that Quick's going to make the highlight saves. Otherwise, you get too down on yourselves. Watch this. Everyone go in one. Watch Quick. Push, and then glove. So he's keeping both sides of his body active at the same time. There's a lot of times when goaltenders push like that, they use their arms for balance. Jonathan doesn't have to do that, so he's able to reach out, going one way, reach back with a glove to make the save.
Matt Cullen on the draw for Nashville, but the Kings win the faceoff in their own zone, and the puck is cleared up ahead to center ice. Now chased by Carcillo. Back into the Kings zone, and peeling away is Regehr, and he gives it to Doughty. Now up to center. Here's Carter. He slides it back to Regehr. Regehr backhands it deep in the Nashville zone. Fred's back in to get it. Forsberg back in to get it. Put it in the corner, taken away by Richards. In front, and Carcillo's shot deflected. Right point to Doughty. He shoots wide. Rebound off the boards to Craig Smith. Smith up to center ice. And a battle for it right in the neutral zone. The Kings come out with it. Pass over is broken up, and Nashville back to center ice. Craig Smith, right side, shoots wide to the left. Rebound held in and sent in by Cullen. Now still in the Kings zone. Kings trying to get control of it. Regehr goes forward down in the corner. Puck comes back to the blue line and out to center ice. They couldn't hold it in. Diving for it was Ryan Ellis, their number 1 pick in 2009. So the Kings change on the fly here, and the Predators start back out of their own zone. Sent deep into the Kings zone. Martinez going for it, but Quick sends it into the corner. Played by Green. Up ahead to Jarrett Stoll. Stoll up to center ice. He gets checked there, but he sends it into the Nashville zone where Pekka Rinne drives it around the boards. Held into the right point. Green with a shot knocked away by Rinne. Now on the left side, Martinez pinches in. He gets it to Fratton. Matt Fratton checked there. Puck is taken by Dwight King. King turns, tried to throw it in front. Loose puck comes left side, and Martinez tried to get over. He didn't, but Stoll did. Stoll's pass taken away, and Nashville with it. They get it up the left side now to Eric Nystrom. He sends it in the King zone, and Martinez back to play it there. Puck is loose, though, and the Predators try to hold it in. They've been pretty good at that in this game tonight. Nystrom chasing it down into the corner. He gets checked by Martinez. Forsberg over to look for the loose puck. And at the blue line, a shot is deflected by Jones. He shanked it way wide to the right, looked at his stick afterward, see if it was broken. Gaustad got knocked down in front of the net in the King zone, and he was slow getting back to his feet. He's got it now, though. Paul Gaustad. He sends it up the middle, broken up by the Kings and poked back out to center. Now it comes deep into the corner, chasing it in Trevor Lewis. Lewis for the Kings, battling. He gets help from Kyle Clifford. Clifford barrels in. He has it along the boards. check there, still a battle. Puck comes back behind the net. And the Predators start back out to center ice. Thrown down in deep. Stahlberg throws a hard check at Doughty. Got double teamed there and kind of put his glove up toward his mouth. Play continues, and the Kings with it across the line. Here's Jordan Nolan. Nolan driving in deep, but he gets checked there as he got checked by Victor Bartley.
For the first time in this game, the body's starting to be thrown, so it's kind of a chess match earlier in this period. Now each team saying they want to get something going by taking the body.
Bartley dropped it back, and it's shot wide by Hendricks into the corner of the King zone. Nashville still trying to stay on the puck, but a good job by Kopitar. He stayed right with it, took his man out of the play. However, Nashville still with it, and a centering pass intercepted by the Kings. 1-1 the score here in the second period. Brown brings it up to center, gives it to Kopitar, back to Brown. Brown can't get through it in time to get a shot. He gets checked down into the corner by Matthias Ekholm.
Another read by Ekholm, Bob. He's been real smart tonight. Aggressive, picking the right time. If he doesn't come across right there, it's a 2-on-1 right in front.
Regier gives it to Williams. Justin Williams sent it across the line. He chases it down in deep. Back to get it is Ekholm, taken away from him, but now going to be taken away by the Nashville Predators. And up to center ice they come, and Hornquist sends it down in deep. Nashville in a line change. Kings back up to center ice. Pass ahead to Carter. Carter tipped it down in the zone. Weber back in to get it. He gets it to Seth Jones, but Carter took it away. Carter kind of fanned on his pass, and Nashville back to center ice. Broken up at the blue line for a moment, then a shot up high and deflected out of play.
Good stick by Voynov right there at the blue line, making sure the Nashville Predators do not get penetration into the zone. 1-1 tie. We come back on the bench. Patrick O'Neill and Justin Williams.
Here on the bench with Justin Williams. Justin, obviously you want to get some traffic in front of Rene. Here in the second period, you probably had to make some adjustments after the first. How's this game going?
It's going okay. It's a typical Nashville LA game. Very physical. Usually one goal determines it, and we're determined to get the next one.
All right, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Patrick stays down there. Maybe he'll get a shift here in the second. He's right there on the bench.
I hope not. Face off in the King zone, and off the draw, the puck still battled for, and comes to Craig Smith in the corner. Nashville with it. Pass in front, tipped wide behind the net. Smith with a wraparound and a save by Quick. Rebound to the blue line, save by Quick. Rebound, Smith shoots it wide, and is poked into the corner by Quick, and up out of play.
Wow. Face-offs. It's not like it's a chance directly off the draw, but you keep the possession of the zone, and Quick had to be back and forth. More of a pinball action. You see right there, Richards decides to clear it, ends up right back at Quick, then back again off the boards. He has to make sure there's no second chance, and the puck goes off the boards, then into the mesh, so no delay of game penalty against the Kings.
You know, an oddity, the Kings are the only Western Conference team that Nashville has a winning record against on the road and a losing record against the Kings here in Nashville. Kings would like to keep that going tonight. Puck comes to the blue line and taken by the Kings. Here is Stoll. His pass deflected back to Doughty. Doughty across the line to Fratton. Matt Fratton, he got stopped there and is poked ahead to Philip Forsberg. Forsberg, 19 years old, across the line. Checked by Fratton, who comes back to take it away.
Good back check by Fratton. Never gave up, never reached out and held. Got his line, stayed on his line, and took his man out of the play.
Thrown in by Stoll into the corner. Picked up by the Kings. Jared Stoll with it again. Now to King. He centered it, but the Predators get control of it, and Victor Bartley moves it up ahead to center ice. Now down the left side, here's Nystrom. He gets checked there. Kings pick it up. 1-1 here in the second period. 6:35 to go in the period.
Nice board work there by Dwight King. Look off a man, protect the puck, hold on. Just buy yourself time. Good support by the Kings on the breakout.
Tucked in the Nashville zone, down the corner, Trevor Lewis. You know, Jim, you hear opposing coaches always talking about the Kings big and use the body. Doesn't always mean Green with a shot wide, a crushing body check. It means, I think, what you just referred to, that board work where the big body gets in there and stops you and takes the puck away.
Yeah, Dwight King just, if you want the puck, come and get it. He was in a position at all times to protect it, and because he was doing that, he bought himself that time to someone's going to get open.
Predators hold it in, though, in the Kings zone. Now behind the net, Martinez with a check there. Look out. The Predators still with it. Thrown off on the right side to Weber. He shoots. Saved by Quick. Quick with a save on a blast by Shea Weber from the right side, and the puck goes up out of play. Oh, and Nashville really upset Hendricks that no penalty was called. Setting up breakers.
Schedule, Gary tells you what's going on for the Kings coming up. Dallas, Calgary, Phoenix, Edmonton. Then that long road trip to Phoenix, ending up on the 30th, back at home at Staples Center against the San Jose Sharks. That does it here in October. The Kings will end a 4-game trip tonight. A chance to go 500, a chance to go a little bit above 500, or a chance to get 3 of 4. That's what they want.
Face off in the King zone. The Nashville Predators without one of their better defensemen. Roman Josi out with a concussion. And we're ready on the draw as the Predators get to it, but it's picked up by the Kings. Actually, Predators drew it back, and the Kings jump on it as Williams sends it in deep. Weber back to get it. And a penalty coming up here for slashing. Is it Williams?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Justin Williams. He was chasing down Weber and maybe reached out with one hand on his stick. Weber's stick may have been snapped, too. And that, many times, is the indication to the ref. So we'll see the stick right there. You see him slash into the hands. Now, Weber has a broken stick. And if the ref doesn't see it the first time, a lot of times that broken stick, oh, geez, he must have done something. And you can see the initial slash right into the hand there, and Justin Williams goes off. So offensive zone penalty in a game where, it's been that kind of a ground game, that grind game that Justin just told Patrick about. Chance here for the Predators to get a going man advantage.
Williams 2 minutes for slashing at 14:26. Nashville 0 for 1 on the power play. They had one shot on goal. Stoll on the face-off for the Kings, and the Predators get to it, but misfire on a pass back to the right point. They try to get it back there to Matt Cullen. Cullen and Ryan Ellis are at the points for Nashville. Kings take it away. Right point, Green with a shot that was deflected and came slowly toward Rinne. And the Predators start back up again. The game is tied at 1. Nashville with a chance to take the lead. Puck driven around the right side. Colin Wilson goes for it. Craig Smith is there. Loose puck. Who's got it? Kings get to it. And it's cleared by Trevor Lewis. Kings change their penalty killers now. With 1:23 left to go. Kopitar comes out up front along with Dwight King. Nashville with it across the line. Throwing hard around the boards. Left side and battle for it to the blue line it goes. Kings almost took it away there as Kopitar tried to get it. Willie Mitchell goes for it. He gets checked, but he got it up along the boards, and it's cleared again. Back down into the Nashville zone by King.
You can see Mitchell there. He just wants to keep his stick free. He's chasing down a loose puck, but with his stick free, he can get there first, and he swings his stick. There's the puck.
Now the Kings have Richards and Carter up front to kill the penalty. Doughty and Reguer back defensively. 48 seconds left to go in the King penalty. Here's Doughty into the corner with Legwand. Puck is back behind the net, and Nashville comes out with it. Pass to the blue line. Here's Shea Weber. Weber banks it off the boards. Left side, Legwand. Legwand dropped it back, and a shot by Forsberg, and a save and a rebound picked up by the Kings, and they don't clear. Held in now as Reguer's pass went to the blue line, and Weber held it in. Nashville still with it. Forsberg in deep. Back it goes to the blue line. They get it to Weber again. Now over to Philip Forsberg. Here's Forsberg in the zone. He gets checked by Doughty. Puck comes down in deep to Hornquist. Pass out to the right side to Seth Jones. Back in deep to Legwand. David Legwand behind the net. Legwand gets it back to the blue line to Jones. Jones back over right side. Power plays over, and a shot up high over the net by Ellis. Rebound in front. Taken away by the Kings. Out of the penalty box is Williams. Williams back to the blue line and into the zone. Tried to make a move. Still has the puck. His nickname is Stick. He's got a good stick, I'll tell you that. He hangs on to that puck or gets it back if he can't hang on to it. Held into the right point by Voinov. He's got the King goal tonight. Puck comes out across the blue line, and Nashville back in to get it in their own zone. Sent to the King blue line where it's broken up, and now 3 minutes left to go in the second period. 1-1 the score. In the King zone. Willie Mitchell check there and get some help. But in deep, Stahlberg takes over for Nashville. Stahlberg, he was with Chicago last year. He still has it. Stahlberg with it, got a man in front and a penalty coming up against the Predators for interference.
Yeah, interference. Stahlberg took over that shift, and he was spinning. He was cycling. In front of that was Paul Gaustad, and he's going to be the guilty party. Of course, maybe Stahlberg had a little bit more room to operate because of that interference call, but he had some spins and some turns, and big body Gaustad just got too much position, too much contact in front. You see Kimmerly's the referee. Voinov is involved. There's the push and shove from behind. So that's real. Voinov goes down, and Gaustad goes to the box. The interference right in front of the referee.
The Nashville goaltender, Pekka Rinne, thought it was on the Kings. He started to head for the bench. And then the whistle blew. Interference to call at 17:20. Kings power play 0 for 2 tonight, 0 for 11 on the road trip. Chance to take the lead as the puck cleared all the way back to the King line. And hustling back, the Kings get to it over to Voinov. 2:29 left to go in the second period. Here's Slava Voinov to Carter. Carter's pass to Kopitar. Slaps it into the zone. The goaltender Rinne back behind the net, cut it off, and it is not cleared. Held in by Voinov into the corner. Chased in there by Richards. Richards bangs in along with Kevin Klein. Now at the blue line, a shot and a save by Rinne as the puck came back to Doughty at the blue line.
We'll see if the Kings can win a face-off. The last time they had the draw here in the offensive zone power play, you lose the draw, cleared by the Predators. Got the shot through again. Difficult for the Kings tonight to get that traffic in front. It's been a focus point. It's been a point of emphasis, but the Predators making sure it's not going to happen. Stoll moves in here just for the face-off. After this, he'll move back to the point. Kings looking for a different look here to get it going.
Last year, the Predators had 111 goals, the worst total in the National Hockey League. They've managed one here tonight, but the Kings only have one. And now the puck cleared back down into the King zone, and back to get it, Alec Martinez. 1:14 to go in the King power play.
Another lost draw in the offensive zone, so another opportunity goes by without a chance to gain possession.
Martinez throws it in, tipped away along the boards, and cleared out the center ice. Kings over to pick it up, though, and taken now by Justin Williams. Williams fights his way across the blue line, still gets his stick on it. Now it's picked up by Matt Fratton. Here's Fratton for the Kings, sends it across, and a shot is knocked down in front. A pass there taken away by the Predators. The Kings were getting a man into the slot, but they couldn't get it to him. Now it was picked up and cleared the length of the ice, and now we're down to 35 seconds left to go in the King power play. Kings regroup back in their own zone, start back out again. Coming down to a minute to go in the second period. Martinez drives it in. Back behind the net. 1 minute to go in the second period. Nashville with it. They drive it around the boards and back into the King zone. 13 seconds left to go in the King power play. Doughty starts back up. Power play, 3 seconds left to go. Doughty still with it. Power play is now over. Doughty down the right side. So the Kings fail again with a man advantage. Puck is taken there by Kevin Klein for Nashville. He gets it up ahead to Gaustad. Gaustad tried to move it ahead, but it's broken up. He tried to get it there to Gabriel Bourque. Puck is driven deep in the King zone with 23 seconds left to go. Jim and I will have highlights at the end of this period. Puck taken back at the blue line now, and 13 seconds left. Nashville still with it. They get it up to center ice. Colin Wilson moves it across the line, but offside called here.
Kings fans, I'll ask you if you're a super fan in a couple seconds. Yeah, they're going to just kind of turn around, nothing happy. Are you a super fan? If so, tell us why. LAKingsSuperFan.com, presented by Delta 8 fans, will be chosen based on their level of devotion. They will compete against one another for a trip to New York City. The Big Apple includes Delta Business Elite tickets, hotel, tickets to the Kings and the Rangers, November 17th. Visit LA Kings Superfan now to enter.
Kings win the draw. They've got it. 4 seconds to go in the period.
Shoot.
Here is Green. Not going to do it. That's the end of the second period. No goals in that period. So at the end of 2, It's a 1-1 tie as the King goal by Slava Voinov tied the game with 41.1 seconds to go in the first period. Matt Cullen got Nashville on the board first in the first period, 1-0. But we're at the end of 2 here in Nashville. And the game tied 1-1. Another tight Kings game with the Nashville Predators. When we come back, Jim and I will have highlights for you right after this. Kings Hockey is brought to you by AT&T Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT. Rethink possible. By Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. Now at your Honda dealer. And by Jack in the Box. Satisfy your late night cravings with Jack's Munchie Meal. Available after 9 p.m. at participating restaurants.
Welcome back once again. Third period just about to get underway. Joined right now by Davis Payne, assistant coach for the Kings. Davis, you know, kind of the type of game we expected, kind of that grind in the second period. Anything you think can happen here to kind of separate the Kings and get some more attack?
I think it's always been the same story when you come into this building is who forechecks best. And so we've got to do a great job in handling their forecheck, making quick plays. We believe we can get through the neutral zone and play in behind their D. It's all about where we're putting the puck, because we do feel that our forecheck has had some success tonight, turned some pucks over. And when we have that shot-first mentality, we've had second chances. And in this building, it's about sticking to it for 60 or 65. We know we got another 20 in us.
All right, Davis, thank you. Hit it nail right on the head. Exactly what he said there at the end, where you come into a building like this, you kind of know what's going to go on as far as the mental preparation that it takes to sustain. You can't find yourself, and it does happen, you'll be on the bench. Oh, if I get this next chance, I'm going to do that. You can't get thinking too far ahead of yourself. It's a step-by-step game normally against the Nashville Predators.
Third period underway with a game tied at 1. And what I've discovered here is Ben Scrivens may be called the professor. We've got another professor with us. Patrick O'Neill, the history professor.
Oh, yeah.
Good job on that. Puck comes deep in the King zone, and a battle for it. It's kicked into the corner. And it is going to be taken over by Willie Mitchell. Kings with it. It's cleared up ahead to center ice. So tonight, can Patrick Waugh, the new coach in Colorado, keep his streak going? He tied a record. Now the puck taken by Colin Wilson with a shot deflected. 6-0-0. Tied the NHL record by Mario Tremblay in 95-96 at the start of his NHL career. But Colorado losing tonight so far to Detroit 2-0.
Interesting. Mario Tremblay had the record tied by Waugh, and I would assume not necessarily. Well, years have gone by, but Mario Tremblay was the coach when Patrick Waugh was trying to get himself away, and he did get himself out of the Montreal Canadiens franchise.
He was the goaltender in that streak that started the season for Montreal that year. A shot wide off the boards by Nashville's Seth Jones. Now the puck out to center ice and slides down into the Nashville zone, and back to get it is Seth Jones, the 19-year-old born in Texas, Arlington, or Plano. Depends on which biography you read. We'll have to ask him. Puck comes down in deep, back behind the net. Actually, I think I'll ask his mother where he was born. Puck is sent down into the corner, and Stoll going for it there for the Kings. He gets checked by Jones. Jones jumped in front of him and got it up along the boards, and it's poked out to center. Kings get to it, though, as Martinez back defensively with Slava Voinov now. The puck picked up across the line. Kings send it across, but it's intercepted there, and up to center ice, Philip Forsberg. Now across the line, King zone, loose puck. Who's got it? Dwight King for a moment, taken away. Sharp angle shot and a save by Quick. And he hangs on to it as the shot came from Eric Nystrom.
Yeah, the Predators get a shot, and it comes off a turnover when the Kings had it at the offensive line earlier in the dump, and Jeff Carter's the best scorer for the Kings. But look at this, reach right there, get the stick in the way, just make it happen, blocks the shot, just those little things. And again, more specifically, Davis Payne just talking about it, it's this type of game that you expect, and that's why you need everyone. When you have to play defense, you play D. You're not necessarily going to get a lot of offense, so you got to make sure you're there to help out your teammates.
Another draw in the King zone now to the right of Jonathan Quick. Third period just underway here in Nashville. And again, a reminder, Kings home at Staples Center Saturday night. Dallas Stars will be there. Here's a pass in front by Stallberg, but intercepted by the Kings' Kyle Clifford. They've still given Clifford an assist on the King goal, but our replay showed that it should be Carter getting that assist. Kings still have it now. Carter and Richards, of course. As Carter got it to Richards, he got it to Voynov, and Voynov scored. But they haven't made that change officially here yet on the score sheet. Predators drive it into the King zone. Down into the corner. Stahlberg going for it. He didn't get it. Tipped away, and the Kings get it back up to center ice. Here's Kyle Clifford. Clifford down the left wing. Clifford shoots, and it went wide. Rebound out to the right side. Held in again by the Kings for a moment as Carter got his stick on it. Now it comes out to center, and Slava Voynov. Voynov's pass up ahead, picked up by Daniel Carcillo, right wing. Carcillo into the slot, leaves it there. Mitchell picks it up. His shot is up high on a broken stick. Mitchell broke his stick. He's got to get another one from the bench. He did in a hurry. Nashville on the attack. Pass down in deep, and Nashville with it, but a pass deflects to the right point. Held in there by Klein. Then a shot tipped in front and a save on Hornquist.
Good job by Quick just to stay at home right there. He knew Hornquist didn't have a lot of room, didn't have a lot of time. Don't overplay the situation.
Hornquist with it again. Pass up the middle, taken by Fisher to Hornquist. Now to Michael Fisher up the middle, and fanning on it was Weber. You don't see that very often, and it came out to center ice. Fisher back to get it. He's married to Carrie Underwood, the country singer. Now here is Seth Jones to the blue line to Craig Smith, right wing. Smith check there, centers it. Nashville still with it. Back to the blue line it goes, and a shot from there is blocked on the way in. Smith goes for it again. Now it's picked up and taken away by the Kings, and they get it to the blue line and out to center ice where Williams has it. He backhands it down in deep, and Brown tried to get to it. Nashville takes it away. Tight game here tonight, 1-1 here in the third period. Pass ahead by Gabriel Bourque, but it's intercepted by the Kings' Drew Doughty. Doughty for the Kings. Up to Robin Regehr. Regehr sends it deep into the zone, and back to get it was Weber. Comes around the boards, right side. Seth Jones with it. Jones checked behind the net. But the puck comes up on the right wing side to Forsberg. He got it to center and chased down the right wing. Chased in by Nystrom. Nystrom in the corner. He gets checked there by Regehr. Puck is fought for by Dwight King. King can't hang on. Here's Legwand. He shoots wide to the left. Rebound out to the left point. Held in there by Bartley. Victor Bartley, and now the puck is still in the King zone, but Kings can't get to it. Now they will. It comes up to Dwight King. King to center ice. Plays it off the right wing boards. King still with it. He gets a shot that is gloved by Rene, and he hangs on. Pekka Rene had some arthroscopic hip surgery last May, and he's playing his 300th game here tonight.
Kind of slowing it down right there. The Kings have not been able to get the forecheck going like Davis Payne talked. Earlier they had the chance, except for the broken stick of Willie Mitchell. Willie, and the blade goes farther than the puck right there. Now he gets back to the bench, and right here, because of the speed of how that play developed, he didn't have a choice. He didn't get his stick. He just got a stick. If you have enough time, the trainers, the equipment managers will get your stick, but in that situation, he's defending. He's got to get back. You just grab any stick you can get.
Yeah, that was an intense situation for him because of the attack by Nashville. If you've got time, you get your own stick, but like you say, he grabbed anything he could.
You know, Bob, I use one of the shorter sticks. I'm not the tallest guy in the world, and when that type of play happened, when I would wait for someone else, I'd tell someone else, I didn't want the guy on the ice to get my stick because it was probably way too short for him.
Long shot that's steered away by Quick. Puck is back behind the King net. Martinez gets his stick on it up on the left wing side, and Clifford gets it out to center ice. Seth Jones back to get it over to Weber. Shea Weber. He's unleashed that big shot of his a couple of times tonight, but couldn't get it by Quick. Here's Clifford up to center ice. He gets checked there. Loose puck just inside the King line, taken by Martinez. Over to Matt Green. Green up ahead to center to Nolan. Tipped it across the line. Broken up there and sent by Kevin Klein back into the King zone. And a icing call against Nashville.
A reminder to Kings fans, you can purchase your LA Kings Ice Crew calendar right now, available at lakings.com/calendar, featuring the entire Ice Crew and even Bailey. Purchase yours for $19.95. All proceeds benefit the Kings Care Foundation. lakings.com/calendar to purchase yours now.
Kings are 4-3 on the year with 8 points. Nashville is 3-3 with 6 points. finishing a homestand here tonight. Puck cleared off the boards out to center ice and taken by Willie Mitchell. Now here's Richards. Tipped it across the line, but the Predators clear it back to center. And they have it again. Richard tried to take it away from Mike Fisher. Here's Fisher across the line, still with it. Fisher to left side, dropped it back. A save by Quick on a quick shot. Rebound to Klein. Klein couldn't get the shot. It rolled off his stick. He was in pretty good position. Kings working now on a 3-on-2 as they come across the line. Richards walking in. He shoots and a save. Puck is picked up on the right side now. Into the corner, and Kings still with it. There's a pass in front or shot by Carter. Now back to the blue line, and it gets by Willie Mitchell out to center, and he gets wrapped up by Colin Wilson.
I was mentioning, Bob, at the end of the second, haven't seen many outnumbered attacks. That time Klein found himself caught in the offensive zone. He took a chance on a play, and the Predators almost paid for it. Ekholm, once again, I mentioned his name 3 or 4 times tonight. Nice read coming across, taking away the pass, at the same time getting his stick on the puck.
So he deflected it. It did not get through to Rinne. Puck comes over on the right side in the zone. Here's Kopitar. Kopitar in deep, throws it in front, intercepted by Nashville, but Kopitar stays right with it. Kopitar still with it to Brown. Right side to Doughty. Doughty sends it back toward the blue line, and it is given to Kopitar in the slot. He turns, he shoots, and a save by Rinne in the glove.
Well, Kopitar does get the shot. He had a chance earlier on the outside, elected not to shoot. Shoots there. 1-1. Back right after this.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Patrick O'Neill in enemy territory, blinded by all this yellow. You heard Jim mention earlier that the GM of the Predators, David Poile, also the GM of Team USA. Jim had a good talk with him. I put him on camera. I wanted to ask him about Jonathan Quick. Is he going to be the number 1? Can Dustin Brown be the captain of Team USA? And Trevor Lewis, what are his chances of making the team? He answers all those questions. We have the interview for you on our Kings Live postgame show after the game. Guys?
All right, Patrick, thank you very much. Should be interesting there. That's going to be in Sochi, Russia. And about quite a break for the Kings. About, 19-day break for the Kings. Puck comes up ahead to center and picked up by Craig Smith.
I've got the answers. Yes, yes, and yes. There you go.
Well, you should be GM.
Yeah, hey, easy.
Puck cleared ahead to center now, but the pass taken away and picked up there by the Predators and thrown across the line by Cullen. Now in deep, rolls around toward Regehr in the corner. He gets checked. Nashville with some pressure on, but the Kings' Kopitar goes back to get it. It rolls away from him. Now Doughty covers up behind the net. He throws it up the left wing side to Brown. Dustin Brown up to center ice. He gets checked there, and the Kings on a change, and 2 players come on as the puck came right over toward the King bench.
They were right at the bench, though, within 5 feet. No one played it, so that was one of those plays where it looks like it's a little dangerous, but the Kings certainly close enough. They were both touching the bench when the puck got there.
I just hope it's not deflected into the skates of one of them or something like that. And now the puck back to the right point. Voinov shoots. He's got the King goal tonight, but this is blocked. And Legwand broke his stick trying to get to the puck. Now brought across the line by King, but offside called against the Kings.
And that last chance before we went away was the outnumbered attack. Klein is the defenseman. Watch him as he comes in the screen. He's going to point to his partner. You see right, point, go over and get him. That's Ekholm. Ekholm decides to come across, leading with the stick, and there's the block. So good communication by Klein, who is the defenseman who was caught on the play. He was desperate to get back. There was a little bit of switch because of the communication, but good stick. That's the one fundamental that maybe at different levels, the lower levels, you don't necessarily have to worry about it. Once you get to the NHL, they talk about it all the time.
Matthias Ekholm, only in his second year, number 7, picked by Nashville in 2009. Spent most of the year in Milwaukee, their American Hockey League affiliate last year, where he played 59 games and had 32 points. Matthias Ekholm. Puck cleared out to center ice and into the King zone and chased down in again, picked up by Green. Green dropped it off to Martinez. Martinez reverses it over now to Clifford, up to center, overskated by Nolan, but he reached behind him and drives it into the Nashville zone. Taken away there by Ellis. Ellis's pass up along the boards to Stahlberg, and now Nashville back into the King zone. Down the right wing is Gaustad. Gaustad takes a check, throws it in the corner, back behind the net. Kings dig it out there and get it around to Nolan. Here's Jordan Nolan to center ice. Back checking, Nashville takes it away as Gaustad came back to get it.
At this stage of the game, both teams pretty effective, pretty efficient on breakouts. And that's not allowing the other team to sustain pressure. Defense are coming back. They're taking hits, getting support from forwards, and both teams able to get out of the zone.
Into the corner now, centered up the middle to the blue line and held in by Klein, and his shot is deflected out of play.
Well, the Kings will be back at Staples Center on Saturday, so it's one of those difficult situations. You come back from a trip on the East Coast. Of course, this is Central Zone. Tyler Seguin comes over from the Boston Bruins. Pretty good start to the season. Jamie Benn, you know about him, power forward. The Dallas Stars, Saturday, Staples Center. Kings Live pregame starts 7 p.m.
Now the face-off in the Kings zone. 1-1 the score here in the third with 10-11 to go. Puck comes around the boards to Carter. Carter, now it's moved up ahead to center, out of the reach of Carcillo. Carter, Richards, and Carcillo, this line for the Kings. Regehr and Doughty back defensively. Kings with it. They have to get on side. Carcillo does. And Richards throws it deep in the Nashville zone. Now the Predators back up to center ice. Pass tipped into the Kings zone, and down in deep is Carter to take it. Here's Carter. Checked there by Hornquist. Carter stays right with it, gets his stick on it, and now it is cleared up to center ice by Carter and taken by the Predators.
Jeff Carter's been very active in this game, back in his own zone, helping out defense, being first man on pucks, and just making sure, using his reach to get himself a passing angle and get out of the zone.
He threw it deep into the Nashville zone. He goes right to the bench as the Kings change up. They get Brown out now, along with Kopitar and Williams. Puck is cleared into the Kings zone and off the boards. Played there by Willie Mitchell behind the net. Voynov going for it. Voynov staying with it. He gets his stick on it over to Justin Williams. Williams on the right wing. Williams up the center. Gives it to Kopitar in the slot. Kopitar doesn't shoot yet. Now throws it in front, trying to get it over to Williams. Went off his stick, and the Predators chip it out to center ice. It's knocked down there by Martinez, but taken by Cullen. Predators have it. Now it gets away at the blue line and all the way back into the zone as Seth Jones goes back in to get it for Nashville. We're coming down to 8.5 minutes left to go in the third. Predators get it up ahead to Ellis. Now across the line. A shot deflected wide to the right side. Puck comes off the boards to Philip Forsberg. Back to the blue line to Ellis. Ellis threw it in deep. Kings try to get there, but Legwand comes over. He gets checked by Green. Green and Legwand still battling for it. Forsberg digs it out. He gives it over to Ellis. He throws it down in deep in the corner. Martinez trying to get to it for the Kings. Now behind the net. Still taken there by Nystrom. Up the middle, a shot and a save at point blank there on the shot by Victor Bartley as Quick steps out to make the save.
Wow, huge save. Best chance by far this period by the Predators, and Jonathan Quick right in the middle, right at home, square to make the save. Jonathan Quick settling things down here, taking a little rest. He did a little stretching. This time he makes the save. It's a point-blank chance, but Quick will make it look easy as far as the positioning. Regaining the puck, defenseman jumping in right in the middle. Look at Quick. He's set. That's so important right there. He's square. And for the second time in this game, he's made a save where he could have overreacted on it, but he didn't. He read it perfectly, set himself first, square shoulders, and moves out at the shot is being taken to cut down the angle.
Jim, on my scorecard, first period, Quick save at point blank on Hendricks. Second period, Quick save at point blank on Hendricks, on Hornquist in the first period, Hendricks in the second, and here in the third, the one we just saw, the save on Bartley. 30 shots for the Predators, 23 for the Kings. Predators with it. Here's Hornquist. Hornquist in the King zone, sends it in toward Fisher. Fisher checked there, still has it. Fisher behind the net. Now to the blue line it goes, and a shot by Klein, knocked down, rebound, the net gets dislodged.
Wow.
Another close call, and
there might be a penalty coming up here.
So.
Might be Doughty for the push on Hornquist. And whether it's a cross check or there was a lot going on there. It all started with a point shot. And the Predators able to just get to the net and make it happen. So here's the point shot coming up. No hesitation. Turn and drag. Change the angle a little bit. Look at the traffic now off to the side. Right there, the push and shove. Doughty pushes Hornquist, who's down on the ice already. And of course, the puck is nowhere near to be found at that time. It's on the other side of the ice at the time. So delay of game, so the referee felt that Doughty used a Hornquist between his body and the post, but by pushing through, dislodged the net on purpose. That's the reason for the delay of game. Man advantage here for the Predators.
And they are 0 for 2 with 2 shots on goal with a man advantage, and a big chance for them now with 7:30 left to go in the third period. Game tied 1-1. Off the draw here, it's held in at the blue line by Seth Jones. He throws it into the corner of the Kings zone. Behind the net, it's Green. Green turns and finds a spot and clears it back into the Nashville zone.
Predators have been leading in the face-off circle, not by a wide margin, but in specialty team situations, they've won the face-off at the right time while killing penalties. They win it in their own zone, right there, offensive zone. Ended up winning the face-off also.
Philip Forsberg fights his way to center ice. Kings take it away and drive it around the boards, but not out yet. Puck comes in deep again to Willie Mitchell. Mitchell got it to Stoll. Stoll's attempt to clear is knocked down there, and the Predators dig it out. Back to the blue line to Hornquist. Hornquist drops it back to Legwand. Here's Legwand on the right wing boards. King zone on the power play. Legwand down in deep. Hornquist, and he threw it left side. A fake shot, then a shot knocked down by Quick. Loose puck.
Mask is off, Bob.
Yep.
We're going to have to blow it down. We're going to have to blow it down. And look, that's nice. Good sportsmanship right there. Hornquist picks up the mask, gives it to Jonathan Quick. If the attack is immediate after a goaltender loses his mask, you see Hornquist saying to the referee, maybe he did it on purpose. But if the attack is immediate, we'll see what happens here behind the net. Quick comes across. Sprawls. Little contact right there. Comes out the... Oh, he didn't... Now, if he takes the shot right away, the referee might decide at this point... See, when Hornquist gets it, if he shoots it right away, might decide to keep it going because it's immediate. Matt Green knocked off the mask. But because it's not immediate, decide to pass. Then the whistle goes, you blow it down. Goaltender allowed. Get his mask back on.
And the Nashville Predators win the draw, but a false face-off, and they're going to do it again. Wait, we got to...
Yeah, they're going to just check the clock here to make sure time didn't go off, but I think they're going to kick one of the Predators out. I think they felt it was the Predator that was ending up as the encroachment. Wilson leaves. Fisher comes in.
Power play has 1:06 to go on it for Nashville with a game tied 1-1. 6:36 to go in the third. And off the draw, Kopitar can't get to it. It's picked up by Nashville in the King zone. Back to the blue line. Shot from there is up high, and it was shot off again. And again, Quick's mask is knocked off, and now the fans are getting very, very impatient here.
Well, I don't blame them, but again, you can see the mask. The first one was just getting all jumbled up with his own defenseman. This one is, yeah, it hit him. He did shake his head that time. Perhaps he felt, and I'm just going to guess here that maybe the clasp, that did hit him. The puck hit him right there, and then if the clasp is off, and he decides to shake his head. Now, if the puck doesn't hit him in the mask there, and the referee picks it up, the obvious nature, he could give a delay of game penalty against the goaltender for doing that on purpose. But the puck on a slap shot, point blank, hit him in the mask. Hornquist looking on right there, and I guess Jonathan Quick would like to say to everyone, you try it. You try to stand in front of this 100-mile-an-hour slap shot. Take it off the mask and see if you can do it.
Well, big smile by Hornquist over on the bench. Face-off still in the King zone with 56 seconds to go in the King penalty.
Kings are losing all these draws. They haven't to this point. Again, the offensive zone specialty team. Carter here against Cullen.
And Carter has won 70% of the face-offs coming into the game tonight. See what he does here. It's taken by Nashville. Poked ahead, and they still have the man advantage. Game tied. Pass on the right side to Fisher. Up the middle, shot fanned down, and here's a break for Richards. Richards looking for a short-handed goal. He could put the Kings ahead. He shoots. Saved by Rene. He stops Richards on a short-handed breakaway.
Richards tried to open him up and tried to go between the pads. Rene able to get a knee on it to make the save.
30 seconds still left to go in the King penalty. Puck comes into Green. Green's pass around the boards. Can the Kings get to it? To the blue line, but not out. Now Carter tried to get a stick on it. He didn't, but Mitchell did, and he clears it to center ice. 15 seconds left to go in the King penalty. Nashville with it again. Pass on the right side, sent across the line and into the Kings zone. A centering pass broken up there. Loose puck. It is slapped out to center ice on the length of the ice, right on target by Willie Mitchell. Kings have killed it. They're back at full strength. Nashville 0 for 3 on the power play tonight.
Predators had a lot of zone time because of those wind draws. The one draws by the Predators that are able to not necessarily get point-blank chances, but they were able to sustain pressure.
Stallberg down the right side, got checked by Robin Regehr, and the Kings dig it out and bring it back to center ice. Puck sent across the blue line, but intercepted there was Trevor Lewis, bringing it to the blue line, and now Nashville back across the King line where Kopitar tips it out to center ice to Brown. Brown to Williams. Williams into the zone. Williams right side shoots, and a save by Rene. And then a penalty coming up. Rene got checked, but here's Quick going to the bench, and what's the penalty?
It was
high
a
stick.
Yeah, Dustin Brown was driving to the net, and the referee was right there. You see Eric Furlot talking to him, looking for maybe a double minor. Not going to be the case. Preds had their chance. Kings coming up. 1-1 tie, drive to the net, make something happen. Watch on the right side of your screen, the stick right there. Shea Weber comes up, no question, right off the forehead of Dustin Brown. So the Kings will get a chance, man advantage. Slava Voinov, his second of the season. I think his most effective game this year for the Kings so far. Cullen has scored for the Preds. Quick has been just this side is spectacular for the Kings. See the Kings defenseman Voinov out there with Doughty here on this power play.
Kings 0 for 3 tonight, 0 for 12 with a man advantage on the power play. Kings win the draw. Doughty fakes the shot, gives it to Carter. Here's Carter. He shoots. It's wide. Rebound all the way back out to center ice.
A lot of guys, you want to wait for traffic, and if you can get traffic, do so. But with Jeff Carter, he can score from there without traffic.
Here's Kopitar up the center ice. Kopitar across the line. Kopitar right wing side along the boards. He gets double teamed there. He gets it in deep, but it's taken away by Kevin Klein. Klein slaps it around the boards and out the center ice before Voinov could corral the puck. Kings on a power play. Left side, Richards. Richards flipped it up in the air. It's held in by the Kings now and controlled to the blue line. Voinov got it from Kopitar. Here's Doughty. Shoots wide. Rebound off the boards. Taken by Kopitar. Left point. Kopitar to Carter. Carter tried to throw it in front to Richards, but it's broken up, and now all the way down the Kings zone and out of the net comes Quick to knock it away from Nashville. As coming down was Nystrom looking for the puck. Here's Kopitar across the line into the zone on the power play for the Kings. Kopitar to the right wing boards. Kopitar across the ice, shot by Voinov, tipped up in the air and out of play. Want to thank our statistician Jay Levin tonight here in Nashville and our stage manager Brittany Evans.
I think I mentioned most effective by Voinov, and again, if fitness was a concern, and people are saying it is, I think it's affected his decision making. And that's a mental part of the game, not a physical. But you know, when you get tired out there a little bit quicker, you're not necessarily making the right reads. I felt tonight that he's been on top of things as far as when to go, when not to go, use of stick, use of body, those types of things. And what a time here. That percentage wouldn't be good on the power play for the Kings, but the timing would be perfect for an extra man goal here.
Stoll on the draw, loose puck in the face-off circle, and the Kings come out with it. To the blue line to Doughty. Doughty fakes a shot, feeds it right side. Voinov over to Williams. Williams in front and covered by Rene. And Williams got a couple of whacks at it while Rene was on the ice, and Kevin Klein of Nashville doesn't like it.
The Kings get possession off a draw. And then the movement was exactly what you want. You're changing the point of attack 3 or 4 times. Now, Williams couldn't shoot initially because of the stick right there, the position of the stick of Ekholm. He's been involved tonight, that Ekholm. I'm very impressed with him. But the movement was good. If Williams gets a chance for the one-timer, probably has the wide-open net. Klein and Williams have a little chat after it, but another chance here, end zone faceoff.
Kings still have 38 seconds left on the power play, but it's faceoff won by Nashville and cleared into the King zone. And now we're down to 30 seconds left to go on the King power play. 3:15 to go in the third. The game is tied. Buck up to center ice, chased down by Williams. Williams in the Nashville zone. Williams down in deep, still has it. Williams pass comes out to the left point and poked away as Voinov couldn't handle it there, and it's cleared back to center. Kings get it back again. 10 seconds left to go with a man advantage. Here's Williams. Williams along with Richards along the boards, but the Predators get to it. Now can Doughty get to it on the right side? 1 second to go, and power play is over, so both teams fail on a power play here late in the third period with a chance to break the tie. Kings get it back up to center ice. Trevor Lewis on the right wing. Offside called against the Kings with 2:34 to go in regulation.
Well, it's been a grind this period. We'll see if the Kings, way back at the beginning of the period, we talked with the assistant to that man, Daryl Sutter. There he is over on the left, Davis Payne, and he was mentioning forecheck and get it. That really hasn't happened here in the third period. So I mentioned the Predators, Davis there. I mentioned the Predators on their breakouts, pretty efficient, making sure the passes are right on the sticks and everyone supporting. And it'll probably come down to that type of play right now. Looks like icing here against the Preds. The end zone face-offs, I think, have been dominated tonight by the Predators. Again, overall, after two periods, it was 51, I believe, 49. So it was not a dramatic advantage, but it's where you win those draws sometimes.
Well, this draw is going to be to the left of Pekka Rinne in the Nashville zone. Legwand facing off for the Predators. And they don't drop it yet, and the Kings win the draw. Jarrett Stoll won the face-off. Shot is wide. Rebound off the boards. Predators get to it, and it is not cleared yet. Over came King to knock it down. Now it comes up the middle, but taken by Nashville's Legwand as Stoll couldn't control it.
Makeshift line here for the Kings. After the power play, you have King on the ice. One wing, you have Carter on the other. You have Jarrett Stoll in the middle.
Now wrap around the boards, and Forsberg with a shot that went wide. Seth Jones holds it in, left point. Drives it into the corner. Doughty didn't get it. Centering pass broken up. Nashville still with it. Right wing corner now. Now along the boards. Legwand, his pass comes out to center ice.
It was good stick work by Stoll to prevent Legwand from making the pass when he wanted to. By the time he did get possession, the play had already gone by.
Nashville changing on the fly. The Kings back in their own zone. Here's Doughty. Doughty up the center with a minute and a half to go. To Kopitar. On the right wing side to Williams. Williams shoots and a save. And hanging on is Pekka Rinne.
Not a bad idea. Now you're getting to that point where, next shot, next goal wins. So pretty good breakout there by the Kings. All the way up the ice. Guys getting in position where they're available. Make that pass an easier pass for the passer. And that allowed the Kings to build up speed in the neutral zone, and that's why Williams had a chance to get the shot.
Face-off back now in the Nashville zone. As we go back and forth with important face-offs here. Carter in to take the draw against Gaustad, and Nashville controls it. Kevin Klein. Klein for the Predators. Sent to the King line, broken up there, and the Kings get it quickly back on the right wing side. Here's Richards down the middle, but Rinne grabs this shot from from Lewis, and hangs on to it.
I think it's important now for the Kings to keep this mindset up. Circumstance, time, score, those types of things. And coming up right after the game, Kings Live postgame brought to you by Mazda. So, chance to wrap things up. Will it be a 2-2 road trip? Will be a road trip where you get a little bit of a point here, or a road trip where you go 3-1 with 2?
In the middle, Richards tried to get a shot, but it was knocked away. And Nashville to center ice, but intercepted there and taken away by Voinov. He gets it over to Willie Mitchell. Mitchell back to Voinov, up ahead to center ice. Kings come across the line. They try to get it to Richards with 1 minute to go. And Nashville picks up the puck, and down the right side is Craig Smith, fanned on his shot. And it's taken back behind the net. Matt Cullen had it for a moment. Looked like he might have a good rush with a teammate, but he lost his balance. And Trevor Lewis sends it deep into the Nashville zone. Intercepted by Carter. Carter, as Seth Jones dropped it back, Carter was right there. Jones with it again. And the Kings with some pressure on, and the puck cleared high in the air and over the head of Doughty. He chases it down with less than 30 seconds to go in regulation.
Well, Seth Jones probably experiencing NHL pressure there. And maybe at the Western Hockey League, previous junior, he'd have more time. That time the Kings were right on him.
Here's Williams into the zone, right side, but offside called against the Kings. 16.6 seconds to go in regulation.
The Kings have had their best attack time here in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's when they've had it, where pretty good speed in the neutral zone. I think the breakouts really improved here the last 5 minutes for the Kings. They had the power play, then they had the kill one. Those things went away, but even strength, good support and good speed. If it doesn't get decided here in 16.6, hopefully the Kings will be able to carry that speed in the neutral zone 4-on-4 into overtime.
Nashville trying to win their third in a row, and they have the puck back in their own zone. Predators with it. Pass up ahead to center ice and into the King zone. No icing here. It comes off the boards and taken by Doughty. 5 seconds to go in regulation. And the Kings clear it to center, and the Predators are going to play their first overtime game of the year as regulation ends 1-1. Unofficially, shots on goal, Predators 33, Kings 28.
Before the road trip started, Bob, I was just talking to a few people saying I think the Kings have a chance to get points in 3 of the 4 games. If you want points in all 4 games, but you just look at the travel. There was no, once you go coast to coast, there was game, day off, no back-to-back. So Voynov seems like he's more effective in this game. He's certainly, that last 5 minutes, again, making passes right on the sticks and some good reads. Jonathan Quick. You know, again, we kind of get used to it. He was so sharp in this game. He had to make 5 spectacular saves, and then other times, the good reads by Jonathan Quick, and of course, playing in front of the U.S. General Manager David Poile for the Olympic team. SoCal Honda assist to the game. Well, we go back to the first period, get it on the forecheck, make it happen. Right there is Clifford. He created the loose puck, but it was Carter who gets the puck to Richards. Again, Voynov, that read and the timing and understanding when it's going to become a live play. There is the pass right there. So they probably, I don't know if they've changed it yet, but officially it's still Clifford. They will change it. The official scorers get a chance to look at the replays, obviously, to see what goes on. Mike Richards, early in the game especially, back to his old tricks, deceptive, smart, gritty, intense. And chance here for the Kings. Bonus point up for grabs. It's important now because it comes against the Western Conference rival, but chance here for a great road trip.
Kings will play their 4th overtime game. They're 3-0. They won shootouts against Minnesota and Carolina. They won an overtime game against Ottawa. Jeff Carter scored against Ottawa in overtime. He won the game at Carolina in a shootout. Carcillo won the game against Florida. And he had the game winner, I should say, against Florida. Puck is cleared back up to center ice and taken by Fisher, but at the blue line, Kings have it. 4-on-4 skating, as you know, in sudden death overtime. Here's Doughty for the Kings. Doughty's pass knocked down, but taken by Carter. Carter up to center ice. He gives it over now to Richards. Long shot deflected up in the air, and the big goaltender reaches up, and Rene grabs the puck.
Initially, it looked like he might be caught in between there. Rene didn't know if he should go out. He had to back off, and then he has the crossbar to contend with. Put himself in a difficult situation. You can't predict what's going on, so he backs off, has it. Right at the wall for the leaping catch. 3 out. No.
Wrong game, sorry. Face off in the Nashville zone. 1-1. We're in sudden death overtime. Bob Miller along with Jim Fox. Kings home Saturday night at Staples against the Dallas Stars. Face off won by Nashville. Picked up by Shea Weber. Weber moves it up ahead to center ice. Pope checked away there at center ice, and a nice play by Voynov.
Yeah, Voynov reading the gap, reading the pressure and the speed, and so he's back on top of his game, and maybe just playing himself into shape.
Williams to center with Kopitar. Gives it to Kopitar. He didn't get it, and Kings have to get back. Nashville with a 3-on-2 attack. Down the left wing side, in deep. Backhand pass by Cullen, and it is tipped away. Cullen with it again. Cullen, left side, hangs on to it. Checked by Voynov. Cullen down in the corner, King zone. Cullen spinning away, put it behind the net. It comes over to the King zone. Boy, a great chance for Nashville, and they didn't handle it very well.
Yeah, they were a little bit too fancy. Elected not to take the shot, and that kind of cost them because the Kings able to get back. I think it was Williams on the back check.
Now the Kings up to center ice. Here across the line, left side, Martinez. Martinez in deep. He gets checked in the corner, and a penalty coming up here. A high stick.
Yeah, Martinez reached back after he lost the puck. A lot of speed here 4-on-4. That's a good situation for Alec because he has that speed, but he reached back, and he ended up getting the high stick a little too high. Earlier, Cullen 1-on-1. Voynov, body position. I felt this year a couple times he's been losing these battles. Watch this. Position, turn, and stick. Use the stick to poke it off. Now here's the play we're talking about. Martinez lost the puck, reached back. Yeah, stick into the chin. No question right there. Ellis getting back to just get in position, and it's one of those where it's a reaction. It's a reflex. but you've got to maintain control of the stick. It's not on purpose, doesn't matter. Rule book, go to the box.
Alec Martinez sits in the penalty box. Kings gather around now to figure out how they're going to stop this 4-on-3 power play by Nashville.
A little bit more open ice, and I would assume Shea Weber is going to be in a position where they're looking for the one-time shot. You look at that 5-on-4, but 4-on-3, normally you get that a little bit easier. It looks like they're going to send out Jones, too, so 2 forwards, 2 defensemen. The big boomers, Weber, Jones, the veterans up front, Legwand, Hornqvist. And the Kings, sometimes in a situation, too, you have a plan to say, okay, we're going to allow the shot from this player. You design your defense. The goaltender knows that's going to happen. You try to read the play.
Mitchell, Stoll, and Green out for the Kings. Stoll on the faceoff in the King zone. Power play for Nashville with a chance to win it here in overtime. And the draw won by Nashville. Back to the blue line. Here's Seth Jones. Jones hanging on. Feeds it down the right wing side to Legwand. Back to Jones. Jones over to Weber, and he waits. He gives it to Jones. Jones to Legwand. Legwand still with it. Legwand hangs on. Kings getting their sticks in the lane. Legwand hanging on to it. Gives it back up the middle. Taken there by Weber. Weber crisscrosses with Jones. Weber pass in deep, and a shot knocked down by Quick, and the rebound. Whistle blew. And a face-off coming up.
You see the Predators just kind of sorting it out and taking time to get the switch between Weber and Jones at top, and the active sticks by the Kings. All 3 Kings. Look at that back and forth. Look at Mitchell. Stick on the ice. Back and forth. Take away the lane. Make the puck carrier guess a little bit. And if you can make him guess for that split second, you get the hesitation. Then you make your play.
Face off to the right of Quick. Minute 30 left on the King power play. And another draw won by Nashville. Weber holds it in, gets it left side, gets it back again, top of the slot. Weber, right side to Legwand. Legwand tried to move it across, blocked for a minute, but Weber held it in. Now Weber shoots wide off the boards, and Jones keeps it in the zone. Jones gives it to Weber. Weber back to Jones, can't get a one-timer. Jones to Weber. Weber trying to find some room. He threw it into the corner, taken by Hornqvist. Quickly back out to Seth Jones, the rookie. Seth Jones gives it to Weber. They crisscross. Weber turns, shoots wide off the boards. Rebound back along the boards and held in by Seth Jones. Back over to Weber. Weber down into Hornqvist. He shoots, save, rebound, tipped wide. Picked up by Weber again. Weber with it. Back to the top of the slot. Gives it to Jones. Jones back to Weber. One-timer wide. Rebound taken by Legwand. Legwand back to the blue line, and it gets by out to center ice by Jones.
Chance for one change anyway. Stoll goes off. Richards comes on.
Jones back to get it. Throws it around the boards left side. Chopped at there by Green. Green can't clear it out. It's held in by Nashville. 22 seconds left to go in the King penalty. Puck is at the blue line and poked out the center by Willie Mitchell.
Willie Mitchell follows it up, goes for the change. So the only tired man on the ice right now is Matt Green. And icing here. Wow. Icing against the Predators on the transition. And that's huge because Matt Green gets a chance to take the rest. That's tough. You're killing a penalty. You're constantly under pressure. You're bouncing off bodies in front. And almost a full 2 minutes, but he gets a chance here to take a breather.
11 seconds left to go on the penalty to Alec Martinez of the Kings. Weber shot wide about 3 or 4 times. Wish he'd have shot a little harder. Would come off the boards out to center ice, but they kept it in when he missed. Kings win the draw. Kopitar. Now here's Regehr, left point. Regehr sends it in deep into the corner, and now the Kings are back at full strength. Martinez out of the penalty box. Nashville with it. 4-on-4 skating. Here's Legwand. Dropped it back, but offside again against Nashville.
You get the icing, you get the offside, and so Hornqvist a little frustrated. When Weber was missing the net there a couple times, Bob, you have to credit the Kings because Weber's a poised player. He has a good one-timer. He knows what. Well, I think the Kings were in the shooting lane, and it made it a little bit too fine for that man. He had to pick the corner a little bit too fine, and doing so, shot the puck wide.
Minute 27 left to go in sudden death overtime, and the Kings win this draw, and Doughty back in to get it. Doughty behind the King net. Moves it up to the blue line. Now to center. Here's Carter on the right wing. Jeff Carter shoots quickly and a save, and the rebound picked up. Boy, I thought for a moment it beat Green.
It certainly did it. He shot in stride. He never gave up the fact that he was going to shoot the puck, but as we've talked before, always has the puck. It was and a place on his body to shoot it.
Here's Kopitar to center. Kopitar, right side. He pulls up, gives it up the middle. A shot by Carter, deflected back to Kopitar. 54 seconds to go in the overtime. Here is Carter to Kopitar, to the blue line, to Doughty. Doughty throws it into Carter. Carter behind the net. Nashville zone. Carter still with it. Dropped it back left side, taken there by Kopitar. He gives it over to Doughty. Doughty lost his balance, gets up, spins away. Doughty still with it. Doughty into the corner. Lost it there, but can the Kings get it back? Yes, Carter tried to jam it in front. Taken away, and a Nashville player tripped, and the fans upset that no call was made. Here's Doughty, shoots up high and off the glass, and the puck comes back out to center ice. Willie Mitchell hustling over to get it.
It was Doughty, the player in question. Let's see if the Kings, 10 seconds here.
Here is Richards, drops it back, time running out. Carter in the slot, can't get a shot. 7 seconds, Kings have to get back. Pass up to center ice, Nashville with it, right side, pass in front, swept away by Quick, and into the corner, and that is the end of overtime. And we're going to have a shootout. Both teams have had their chances in the third period. Both teams failed on a power play, and then Nashville here in the overtime.
Yeah, the overtime, the Kings taking away the lanes, active sticks, preventing the Predators from at least making clean passes around. And when they did, they shot wide on the play. The Kings had a couple of counters, but now we get a chance to go to the shootout. Chance for that extra bonus point. Kings and the Predators will be back in a couple seconds to see who gets point number 2. Now it's selection time. Who do you pick? I think it's kind of obvious sometimes with certain teams. I think for the Kings, you kind of have an idea who's going to be shooting. I assume Carter will be involved. I assume Kopitar will be involved. Mike Richards in the past has been very effective in situations where he uses quick hands to surprise goaltenders. Not necessarily known for a great shot, but he's known for deception. Look at him. He's getting that stick ready.
Fresh black tape.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the Kings and the Predators go into a shootout here. As I mentioned, the Kings 2-0 in the shootout. They beat Minnesota and Carolina. And on the shootout, Carter's perfect this year, 2 out of 2. Kopitar, 1 out of 2.
Jonathan Quick elects to just get down on his knees just inside his own team's blue line and just kind of rest and take a look around and focus. And you can see the record in shootouts. There have been times in his career where he's been dominant in shootouts. I mean that in the sense that he smothers the play sometimes, and the shooter doesn't even get a crack at it.
Well, he's made 5 saves in the shootout so far when the Kings are perfect. So Rene getting all set. We were just talking here about when Carter got that shot, and I really thought for a second that he scored on it. And Jim, you thought Rene never saw it and then hit him.
Yeah, you know, Carter disguised it so well. He kept his feet in kind of a stutter step move and quick strides as opposed to the normal long stride, changed it up, and the goaltender did not see the release point. So first shooter, Craig Smith for the Predators.
This is their first shootout of the season. Here's Smith, first shooter in the shootout. Whoa, wait a minute, came across the line and they held up play.
Something in the crease. Jonathan Quick was not ready. Quick is doing a little housekeeping there and taps the referee on the pad, says a good job. A little delay tactic. Can you call a timeout here when he's not halfway down?
His fans are upset. He's lost his mask twice. They blew the whistle. Now they stop it here. Now let's see what happens. Here's Craig Smith walking in, slows up. Stop made by Quick. He never got a really good shot.
Jonathan Quick in Minnesota used the poke check effectively. This wasn't the extended poke check. Smith tried to use speed and then slow down to catch the goaltender going back too quick. But watch it the last second. Without changing the hand position on the stick, Quick able to get it right there, and Smith loses it. Mike Richards, first chance for the Kings.
And his first chance in a shootout this season. Here he comes. Can he put the Kings ahead? Mike Richards walking in. Save made by Rene in the pads.
You can hear that one up here. The pad save, the big cushion. Make the assumption Richards trying to go tweeners here against the big goaltender. Maybe over top of the pad. Yeah, trying to go over top. And you can see the big leg pad of the goaltender. Never gave it a chance. Philip Forsberg, first career NHL shootout attempt.
A 19-year-old youngster picks it up. He walks in on Quick. Forsberg. No, shot it up high off the glass.
Tried a little glide as he just got inside the blue line just to try to change the angle, maybe keep Jonathan Quick guessing. Right about here, you see him, oh, is he going to go wide, so comes back to the middle. Pretty good fakes there. He actually had Quick moving on that one, I'll give him credit, but he couldn't maintain control. He kind of faked himself out. Couldn't have control.
Here's Jeff Carter. He's perfect in shootouts, 2 out of 2. He walks in. Can he put the Kings ahead? Carter. Save, or did it go wide? It went wide off the boards. I don't know if Rene got a piece of it or not.
I think he got a piece of it. So Jeff, we've talked about it before. He has that patented move where he goes to the backhand. This time, he's tried that enough times in a row. Looks like the goaltender, yeah, he's a little bit out of position there to the blocker side, but maybe he's just giving that side.
Now Matt Cullen for the Predators.
He's got some quick hands. Can make a lot of moves, tight spaces.
Let's see what he does. Here's Cullen. Stops. And a save by Quick. He tipped it up over the net.
You can see Cullen always kept the puck moving. He tried to keep the goaltender guessing. Watch this. Now he's going to slow down. Look at the puck. Move. Just keep moving. He's always stick handling. Really trying. Jonathan Quick, like I talked before, that's one of those smother saves where he wasn't beat at all. He never bid on any moves. Chance here. This is it. Kopitar scores. Kings get 2.
Kopitar ready, and he could win the game for the Kings on this shootout attempt. Here's Anze Kopitar. He scores, and the Kings win it 2-1 in the shootout. Kopitar scores the goal. The Kings win in the shootout 2-1.
Well, Anze Kopitar, Bob, is known for a move where he goes to the backhand like that, but he slides it between the pads. Watch this. I think that Rennie might be waiting for it, but he doesn't slide it. Watch the hands at the last second. Whoop, right to the top, over top of the pad. So the goaltender might be thinking here, I've got to protect Tweeners as he comes across, and just shovels it right in the crook of the arm. The glove's open, it's wide open. Kopitar so much under control here. You see that little fake? I don't think the goaltender bid on the fake. At the same time, it just seemed to be perfect. The Kings make it. One of those road trips where the last game they allowed 5 goals and maybe a little concern. Well, 3 of 4 on the road, and the Kings will go home with a smile.
So for Jim Fox, Bob Miller, thanks for joining us. Kings win it in the shootout 2-1. Kings Live is next.